Hi everyone, it's Bernie here from Stampin' Up and welcome to my scheduled post for the 31st of December 2024. And before I get stuck into my craft, I want to wish you all a really happy new year. I hope 2025 is a good one for everybody, that you may be blessed, that you may all experience God's love, grace, kindness and mercy to you. I have this weird thing when it's the 31st of December and we're on the brink of a new year. I get a little bit nervous about heading into the new year. I've always been like that. And then I have to talk to myself and remind myself it's no different from going from the 31st of August to the 1st of September or the 28th of February to the 1st of March. So yeah, that's my little self-talk. But in order to make it a lot more exciting this year, I have a scheduled post for you so that Rich and I can have a little bit of a break from our lives. We will be back next week with a live, but today I've got this little project planned for you, and I'm using the brand new upcoming Floral Delight 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. It is beautiful. Look at these colors. Years ago, back in the 90s when we got married, my kitchen was bright yellow. And then I sort of went to this sort of old olive green. And now I'm in a white and grey kitchen. But it's certainly yellow was the thing with all my Tupperware lids. So this paper brings back a lot of memories. I love it because not only do you have these bright, gorgeous florals, but you've also got these lovely, on the B side, these lovely, I wanted to say fabrics. They almost look like fabrics. These beautiful colors and papers that you can use on the B side to offset it. So you've got some daffodils, gingham. These are die cuts. You can get die cuts. I don't have mine yet. This is a bit of crumb cake or pecan pie, I think. Another brights, florals. But we're going to use this paper today. And yeah, just some starbursts. But wait, there's more. Let's just wrap this all up. You can also get some vellum in the 12 by 12. Yes, this is vellum. So 6 sheets, 2 of each of this design. Absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to be using this sheet today. So let me show you what we're making. Okay, I am making this card with you today. I have found the inspiration from one of the artisan design teams. Maharaji, I think is her name. Sorry, I always butcher her name. I feel so sorry for her. She used completely different papers, completely different flowers, but I just thought it really worked well. So thank you for the inspiration. So let's get started. So it is a really easy card. I'm just using some old olive. I've got a half a sheet of my old olive cardstock that I'm going to do. But before I do that, I want to just put a little bit of a splatter using my matching old olive Stamp Right marker. Just concentrating around the edge. Okay. So that shows through. And now I've got a smaller piece. Mine was 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. And I'm just going to use a very old scissor. And I'm going to rough up the edges. You don't have to do this if you don't like your edges to be roughed. I tend to like mine to be roughed. So that's what I'm doing. So just going to do that. Okay. And now I'm taking, you could spray this lightly, but I'm just going to take the edge and roll that up, scrunch it up a bit so that there's some texture in there. And again, I'm just going to flick some right marker around it. I'm just going around the edges because we're going to put the paper in the middle. All right, now I've cut myself a piece of that stunning vellum. Isn't that beautiful? Little trick to know when you're working with vellum, don't use liquid adhesive glue. It will shine through. But if you use a tape like Stampin' Seal, that doesn't show through. So that's just a little tip for you. I'm putting my designer series paper, leaving a border on the edge, and it's the 5 5/8 width. And I think this one I cut at 3. Let me just check that measurement quickly for you. No, it's 2 1/2. All right. So what I'm going to now do is just get that paper. Right, set that to the side. I'm going to select some flowers. So I need 3 different flowers to work with my design. Now there is a matching die. Like I said, I don't have the matching die, so you can either fussy cut them, as I will be doing, or else you can die cut them. And then I just need a big one, so I'll just go to this corner one. So I'll show you the first one, how I fussy cut it, and then I'll just do the rest off camera and then come back once I've cut them. There's no point me boring you to death by doing all of them. So let me take this one. So what I like to do is I just hold my paper, or rather I hold my scissor and I move my paper around. So as you can see, the paper is the one that's moving, not moving my scissor. Also, I like to keep a bit of a border, just a small border around the end, and you'll see what I'm going to do with that border once it's all cut. Right, so let's just move that out the way. Cool. And coming in here. So what you can do over here is you can either cut in there, which I'm going to, or you could choose to leave it with the white. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to go and do the rest off camera and I'll be back. Now I've got my 3 flowers. Before I do anything else with them, I'm just bringing in a little bit of crumb cake, and I'm just bringing my dauber and I'm lightly coloring around the edge. And the reason I do that is so that the outline of the white is not so stark against the picture against the cardstock. So I'll just do lightly around. You don't want it too heavy, but it certainly does make a difference if you just lightly darken those edges, and then it forms this really nice frame for the paper to stand out. Cool, so I set that to the side, and now we can start our assembly. Right, so just getting all my pieces back. So we've got the big flower is going to come over here, and I want that to tuck in like so, and this little guy is going to come in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to die cut out of basic white. I want to show you, this is a carrot top that comes from the brand new Storybook Garden Patch. And that's what I use to create my flowers, my little foliage. So you're going to need to cut 5 of those. You're just going to pop your die on to some cardstock. I like to create a double layer so that I'm cutting 2 at one time. And I'm going to do that, and then I will be back. Let's put this beautiful little card together. So I am going to glue this down. Oops, that came through. Didn't want that to happen. Want to glue this one over here. I want that one to be on dimensionals, so let's pop that on dimensionals. I'm just using my white dimensionals for that. Okay, don't throw away the edge. I normally cut them and then I use the edge as well so that you don't waste it. Okay, let's tuck that underneath and in over there. And then this one we're going to glue. Want that flower to show like that. Nice. And now we're just going to tuck these little carrot tops. Just create a little bit of an arrangement with them. They're cute. Of course you could use flowers, but I just thought they just added a little bit of a different element to the card. Let's pop that in there. And because we always work in 3s, I'm just going to add this one up here, like so. All right, cool. Now I can bring in my sentiment that I'm going to stamp. So my sentiment, I'm just going to use that scrap. I am using the sentiment from Layering Leaves, and I'm going to use Thinking of You. I have a few friends that are going through some hard times, so I just want to encourage them. I love the font on this stamp set. So I'm using Pebbled Path for that. And I used my matte because it was a photopolymer. And I'm just going to fussy cut this as well. A lot of fussy cutting. So if, oops, I almost went into my stamping with that one. So let's do this one a little different. I am going to try to keep this as straight as possible. We'll see if that's going to work, or if I, oh, maybe not. Or whether I need to just do an angle there, angle there. See how we look, how that looks when it's on. No, I'm going to cut it. Sorry about that. Righto. No, that looks better. So now what I'm doing is I'm just bringing some of that Pebbled Path cardstock that matches the ink, and I'm going to create a border, or a mat as we call it. So I'm gluing that down, and this is just a really fun and economical way to create a bit of a shadow so that your sentiment really pops. And just go around it. Like that. Fantastic. Easy peasy. And I'm going to pop that on with dimensionals, but this time I'm using black. Now we have a choice for this card in terms of ribbon. What you can do in terms of ribbon. I'm just going to take some twine that I have in my stash. I'm just tying a bow. You could do some black and white. I just literally am using what I have, which is always a good idea. Okay, so tying a bow. I'm just going to pop that down with a glue dot. And I like to usually take two when I'm adhering a ribbon or twine, just so that I know that it's going to stay. And then I'm going to put my thinking of you over it. I just want to make sure that I've actually positioned that. I'm just going to pull it to the side so that it doesn't go over that knot, and that way it won't cause an issue, but still adhere it and still be able to see the bunny ears of my bow. This little bit that's sticking out here a little bit longer, I'm just going to snip that back, and I'm now putting my adhesives, my embellishments on. I'm using the antique pearls, and I'm just going to grab 5. So one here, one over here, a nice big one. These are gorgeous. Anything with pearls and unsold really lends itself to a nice, putting one in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need one more. Just pop it in there. And the last thing we need to do is put this card on to the card base. And for that, I'm going to do it on dimensionals again. Excepting this time, I'm actually going to use the edge of these dimensionals that are finished. And I'm just going to put it across. So this way I know I'm getting full use of that edge. Pull that off, a little bit shorter. Fantastic. You could use foam adhesive tape. It would do the same job. But I just had these available, and so that's why I used them. Alright, check the orientation of your card, place that down. I'm just looking, I think that one, I think it'll be alright. Although I'm wondering if I should just add another little dimensional in there, possibly. It's not sticking quite where I want it to. So you may be wondering why I use black and why I use white. The reason I use black is if I'm using a dark color, and if I tip it over like so, you can't see it, whereas you can see the white underneath that. So that's why I tend to use 2 different color dimensionals. It will always depend on the color of my cardstock. If it's a darker color, I prefer black, but if it's a lighter color, the white will not show. So here you have your beautiful, beautiful card featuring the gorgeous new paper that is going live for customers on the 7th of January. So just in a week's time from when this video is being scheduled. So that's me. That's a bright, cheery card coming into 2025 and wishing you all a very, very happy New Year. Thank you so much for crafting with me. If you are watching my video for the very, very first time, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. Click the all so that you can be notified when I post or come live on a Tuesday. Also, If you are watching this video, please give my video a like. It's so awesome just for YouTube to pick up what could be recommended as videos to watch. And if you still want further inspiration, do just go. Please subscribe to my newsletter, stampindeat.com/newsletter. So all those details are in the drop down below in the description. Thanks everyone. Remember, until we meet again, to stamp, to eat, to sleep, and repeat. Bye.